In the time when Vikings ruled with iron fists, their presence was felt across the seas and lands. They were known for their fierce battles, their longships that cut through the waves, and their villages that stood as strongholds of their culture and power. Among these formidable warriors, there was one Jarl who clawed his way to the top with blood, cunning, and ferocity unmatched. His name, Haakon Jarl. Haakon was not just any leader, he was a man driven by an insatiable thirst for power and dominance. His rise to power was marked by ruthless decisions and strategic alliances, often sealed with blood. But be warned, Haakon's story is one of power, betrayal, and a chilling end that left his legacy in ruins. His journey was fraught with treachery, as friends turned foes and allies became adversaries. The dark corridors of his life were filled with whispers of betrayal and the haunting shadows of those he had wronged. So buckle up, because today we're diving into the saga of the Viking king who went too far and paid the ultimate price. We will explore the battles he fought, the strategies he employed, and the ultimate downfall that serves as a grim reminder of the perils of unchecked ambition. Join us as we unravel the tale of Haakon Jarl, a story that echoes through the annals of Viking history, reminding us of the thin line between greatness and ruin. Haakon Sigurdsson, better known as Haakon Jarl, ruled Norway back in the late 10th century. Born into a time of great upheaval and change, Haakon's early life was marked by the constant struggle for power and influence. The rugged Norwegian landscape, with its ancient fjords and dramatic coastlines, was both his playground and his battlefield. And let me tell you, this guy didn't just sit on a throne. Haakon was not content with merely holding a title. He was driven by a fierce ambition to shape the destiny of his people. The wooden halls and longhouses of the Vikings were filled with the echoes of his plans and strategies. No, Haakon was a man of action, a storm waiting to happen. He was a warrior at heart, always ready to lead his men into battle. Whether it was preparing for a skirmish or sailing through stormy seas, Haakon's presence was a force to be reckoned with. His armor gleamed with the promise of victory, and his commands were sharp and decisive. He started out as a Jarl under the Danish king Harald Bluetooth, but soon had his own plans. Haakon's relationship with Harald was complex. It was a mix of loyalty and ambition. In the Viking council meetings, he was a shrewd negotiator, always looking for opportunities to expand his influence. His interactions with the Danish king were a delicate dance of power and strategy. And yeah, those plans didn't exactly include loyalty. Haakon was a master of strategy and deception. He knew that to achieve his goals, he had to be cunning and ruthless. The scenes of betrayal and scheming were all part of his grand design. He was always one step ahead, planning his next move with precision. His rise to power was a testament to his intelligence and determination, a true Viking saga of ambition and conquest. Haakon had ambition like fire. He watched as Harald Bluetooth struggled with his own rule over Denmark and thought, why settle for being a Jarl when I can have all of Norway in my grasp? So he broke his ties with Denmark, forming alliances with powerful chiefs and rallying warriors across Norway. It was time to make his move. But power can mess with your head, and Haakon was no exception. He became obsessed with the old Norse gods, throwing wild, bloody sacrifices to win their favor. Legend has it his sacrifices got darker and more twisted as he grew paranoid. They say he even sacrificed his own warriors, sending them to the gods in gruesome ceremonies to strengthen his rule. While Haakon was busy sacrificing anything and everything, he was also becoming notorious for another reason. He had a pretty ruthless approach to loyalty. Specifically, anyone who questioned his rule didn't get to question it twice. Haakon had spies all over, and the slightest whisper of rebellion was met with swift, brutal punishment. But Haakon's obsession with power soon spiraled out of control. He demanded loyalty, not just from his people, but even from their faith. Any sign of Christianity in Norway was hunted down and destroyed. He saw it as a threat to the old ways, to his power, and to the gods he claimed to honor. The people feared him, but they also started to resent him. And then something happened that Haakon never saw coming. While he was busy fighting off any threats to his rule, one rose up that he hadn't anticipated. News arrived from Denmark. Harald Bluetooth's son, King Sweyn Forkbeard, was coming for revenge. This wasn't just some minor uprising. Sweyn's forces were strong, and his thirst for vengeance was as fierce as any Viking's. Haakon's paranoia went into overdrive. He doubled down on sacrifices, calling on the gods to protect him, convinced that Odin himself would shield him from Sweyn's wrath. But the gods were silent. Haakon's grip on Norway was slipping, and his allies began to abandon him, one by one. Haakon had pushed everyone too far. Even his slaves despised him. They crept up on him in the dead of night, weapons in hand, and with one brutal strike, Haakon Jarl's reign came to a bloody silent end. And so Haakon Jarl, the Viking king who pushed his power to the edge, stood tall and proud, surveying his vast domain. His ambition knew no bounds, and his desire for control was insatiable. He was a man of great strength and cunning, a leader who inspired both fear and respect among his people. But as with all great leaders who let their ambition run wild, Haakon met a gruesome fate that would echo through the sagas for generations to come. The aftermath of his battles left a trail of destruction and sorrow, with countless lives lost and families torn apart. The Viking graveyards, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun, stood as silent witnesses to the cost of his relentless pursuit of power. His funeral was a somber affair, a stark reminder of the fleeting nature of life and the heavy price of unchecked ambition. In Snorri Sturluson's Heimskringla, Haakon's story serves as a warning about the price of unchecked ambition. The ancient manuscripts, filled with tales of valor and tragedy, capture the essence of his rise and fall. Around the fires, Viking storytellers would recount his tale, their voices weaving a tapestry of lessons for future generations. The ancient books, inscribed with Norse runes, hold the wisdom of the ages, reminding us of the delicate balance between power and responsibility. The brutal justice of the Viking age was swift and unforgiving. In the heat of combat, Viking warriors fought with a ferocity that was unmatched, their battles a testament to their strength and determination. The scenes of Viking justice, where wrongdoers were held accountable for their actions, reflect the harsh realities of their time. In the medieval courts, Viking leaders would deliberate over matters of great importance, their decisions shaping the fate of their people. So remember, power can be a dangerous thing. It can consume you, leading you down a path of no return. The concerned expressions of Viking leaders, deep in thought in dimly lit halls, reveal the weight of their responsibilities. The Viking ships, sailing into the stormy seas, symbolize the turbulent journey of those who seek power without considering the consequences. The storm represents the chaos and uncertainty that often accompany the pursuit of power, especially when you sacrifice everything and everyone for it. The sacrificial scenes where lives were offered in the name of power highlight the extreme measures taken by those who sought to maintain their dominance. The abandoned Viking villages, once thriving communities, now stand as ghostly reminders of the cost of ambition. The torn family photos, held by warriors who have lost everything, tell a story of personal loss and the devastating impact of power struggles. Haakon's story lives on as a tale of power, betrayal, and the ultimate downfall of a Viking king who went too far. The scenes of betrayal, where trust was shattered and alliances broken, revealed the darker side of human nature. The image of the Viking king with a dagger in his back is a powerful symbol of the treachery that often accompanies the quest for power. The betrayed expressions of Viking leaders serve as a poignant reminder of the fragile nature of trust and loyalty. The ultimate downfall of a Viking king who went too far is a lesson for us all. The images of the king falling from power, the empty throne, and the defeated figure on the battlefield encapsulate the tragic end of Haakon's reign. His story is a timeless reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the inevitable consequences of overreaching. It is a legacy that continues to resonate, urging us to reflect on the true cost of power and the importance of humility and wisdom in leadership. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through history. Hit that subscribe button for more epic stories from the Viking Age, and let us know in the comments what Viking tale you want to hear next. Until then, stay fierce, and remember, sometimes the darkest legends are born from the brightest fires.